Hey, what's up? John Sonmez from SimpleProgrammer.com. I have a actually this is more of a diet related question today, and I'm gonna try to give it my best answer here. Some of you are like, what the heck? Why are you talking about fitness and diet on this channel? Well, welcome to the channel. I talk about everything here. You can check out, if you are interested in the fitness stuff, you can check out my playlist here of all my fitness and kind of diet related videos. And just to give you a background, I do eat one meal a day. I fast until 5 o'clock every day. And you can check out that video if you want to know why I do that. This video is about healthy and fast meals. So this question is from Mathis, and he says, Dear John, I found how to stop wasting your time at work interesting. Where Kurt ate fast food to have time for his business. Do you have suggestions for meals to eat that are fast to make do you have suggestions for meals to eat that are fast to make and still somewhat healthy? What do you eat? Most of the time, when I'm alone, I eat cornflakes with milk in the morning, spaghetti or the food at school at noon, pizza or lasagna in the evening. I'm 19 years old. I'm going to my second year in college. I'm not overweight. Should I worry about it? Can I eat whatever I want as long as I'm not getting fat? So I think there's going to be a lot of people, Mathis, that are, including me, that are a little bit pissed at you right now. Let's see what you eat. You eat cornflakes in the morning with milk, spaghetti every day at lunch, and pizza or lasagna in the evening, and you're not fat. Must be great to be 19 and to have a high metabolism. But I guarantee you that you're not going to be able to keep this up. And I wouldn't. I mean, well, okay, so you've got an opportunity to get like super ripped and lean and look really good if you change your diet up. So I think this is kind of fun. I think you're just emailing me to brag about how you could eat all this stuff and not get fat and just piss everyone off. Everyone who hates Mathis, leave a comment below. No, I'm just kidding. So let me talk about some healthy and fast meals. So I don't think eating cornflakes and spaghetti and pizza is healthy. It may be fast, but it's certainly not healthy. I have different definitions of what is a healthy meal than other people do, because we're brainwashed to think that certain things are healthy and certain things are not healthy, and our bodies, they don't care for the most part. Now, there is one exception to this, right, into what we eat, which is when we eat things that are high in fructose and have a very high glycemic index, so that invoke a very higher than normal insulin response, and the timing on those things is not right. So one of the bad ingredients, I mean the only really super bad ingredient, in my opinion, right, is high fructose corn syrup. Corn syrup is bad stuff. And that's because it is, for a couple of reasons. One, because it has very high glycemic index, and so it will spike your insulin levels really high, really fast, which is likely to increase fat storage and likely to lead to diabetes, okay? And second is because fructose is generally bad. That's what comes from fruits. Now, from an apple or a banana or something like that that has a lot of fiber in it and has a lot of water, you're not getting a huge amount of fructose per the volume that you're eating. So that's why fruits are generally considered to be healthy foods, although an overindulgence of fruit will definitely make you fat. I don't know if you've seen pictures of Emperor Nero from Rome, you know, fat guy eating grapes, right? They you know, before we had like the cornflakes in a box, the rich people of the age of the Romans in India, and still in India to some degree today, and a lot of places, even in China to some degree, they eat a lot of fruit and they get fat from eating fruit. So, you know, there you go as far as what people think is healthy or not. So what I think is healthy is again, low sugar is definitely healthy. But aside from that, it's really hard to say, right? So, you know, fat is not necessarily unhealthy, right? You can be on a ketogenic diet and eat almost all fat. I've been on a diet before where I ate 90% of my diet came from fat. and a lot of that from saturated fat. And I've had my blood levels tested, my cholesterol, everything, and I've been in tip-top shape. Been really good. In fact, it's actually not a bad diet. I know a ton of people that are curing their diabetes. Again, I'm not a doctor, so this is not medical advice, but I do know a ton of people that have shown, blood tests have shown that they have basically greatly reduced or cured themselves from diabetes by going on a fully ketogenic diet and eating like 90% fat. So what is healthy, right? So I think that it's not so much what you eat, right? So what I think is healthy is what you can actually eat that is going to keep you within the calorie range that you need to be in, okay? And you still get all the nutrients that you need. And so what usually the typical healthy foods that people say are healthy are going to be the things like vegetables, and the reason why has nothing to do with the nutritional content of it, right, or the energy that it gives you. In fact, vegetables are not very efficient for giving you energy, and that's part of the reason why they're healthy is because they have so much fiber in them that for volume you get a lot. So let's just compare. How much cornflakes can you eat versus how much broccoli and have the same amount of calories in them, right? It's going to be a whole lot more broccoli than it is cornflakes. It's going to be much smaller. I wish I had some pictures to give you here. So in that respect, right, you can eat a lot more and be more full if you eat, quote, healthy foods, but to your body, it looks at carbohydrates, it looks at the calories it's getting. It doesn't care that some of them came from cornflakes and some of them came from broccoli. Aside from the ones that came from cornflakes, the sugar got delivered faster, right? Maybe if they have, I don't know if cornflakes have corn syrup in them anymore, but if they did, then that would be the case. So that's kind of to set the baseline, to set the context of what is healthy and not. It's not what most people think. Like the food pyramid and all that is bullshit. It's not like that. You don't need dairy. You don't need all. It's not like that. Most people in the United States, in developed countries today, most of our food is fortified, so we get all the vitamins and minerals that we need, right? So there's not a very high chance of you having a deficiency in something like that. And you can always take a multi if you're afraid of that. It's not a bad idea as an insurance plan. So let's talk about some fast and healthy meals and what do I eat? So I only eat once a day, right? I fast until 5 every day. And so what I typically eat is I typically will go to a place that serves up these bowls where you can either get it with rice and it has veggies and then it has either chicken or beef. That's what I typically eat, okay? Or I'll eat sushi and I can either get sushi with rice or a protein wrap where it's cucumber wrap, or I'll eat something like eggs with spinach and a little bit of cheese on top. Those are the typical meals that I eat every once in a while, like a burrito or something like that. But what I'm mostly caring about is the timing and what I'm eating at specific times. And so I think that can make a huge difference. A lot of people, I've seen this pyramid of relevance of the food, and they show that at the bottom or the most important thing is the actual calories, and then it's like, what is it, the macros, and then it's the micronutrients, like the types of food, and then timing is up here. But I've actually put timing very close to the bottom, because if you do the timing right, it can determine what happens to your body. And so, for example, with my fasting, after a workout, right, when your muscles, the insulin receptors on your muscles after you lift weights, they are primed, whereas normally the insulin receptors on your fat cells are primed. So what's going to happen is if you eat carbohydrates then, totally different story. Now those carbohydrates, that glucose goes into the muscles to replenish glycogen stores as opposed to going into fat cells to be stored. So it's more has to do with timing than what a lot of people think. And a lot of times, I think a lot of reasons why people have, quote, high metabolisms is that they just happen to have, by their natural habits, have an interesting timing to how they take different types of food. So with all that said, to get back to your original question, how can you eat healthy, fast meals, is I think that you can, first of all, you got to figure out what is your plan and what is your diet and what are you going to do. And second of all, pay attention to the calories, the overall calories, because that's more important. That is overall for weight loss or weight gain. That is more important. It is even more important than the timing. I just put the timing lower than most people do. So pay attention to that. And as long as it's within your calories, you're probably going to be okay. That's probably, until you're trying to micro optimize and get down to like below 10% body fat and still gain muscle and all that. Aside from that, you're probably going to be okay, and avoid sugar. That's it. So you can choose whatever you want, try to make it consistent. If you really want to take it to the next level, then look for things like where you can have low glycemic index, lower carb, low sugar stuff, and have higher fat and higher protein. So places like bowl places, right? If you can get that, because you can get that done quickly. There's meal delivery services where they'll deliver meals and make custom meals for you. You could do something like that. You can even find healthy stuff or figure out, how you can hack the McDonald's menu or Subway or something like that if you want to. But there's usually those options. So my advice would be to find something that works and repeat it. Like I said, I've got a few places that I can go where I can get meals, where I can pay for the meal and I can have it cooked for me and have it done. And that's that. The other possible thing that you can do, which I used to do a lot, and a lot of bodybuilders still do, is that they will cook all their stuff at the beginning of the week. Like on Sunday night, they cook up a whole bunch of chicken breasts and broccoli and some brown rice or sweet potatoes, and then they divide it up into Tupperwares, and then they eat that throughout the week. If you really want to go to that level, that's probably the best thing to do, because you're totally controlling the portions, you're controlling exactly what's in there. That's probably the best possible thing to do, but it's not quite as convenient because you still got to cook all that stuff up. But if you do it at once, and it's going to be fast. All right, that's a lot of information there, right? Isn't it? We open up a whole can of worms when we talk about what is healthy foods, and it's debatable. If you have a question for me, you can email me at john@simpleprogrammer.com. If you want to get more videos like this one, click the subscribe button below, and I will talk to you next time. Take care.